The Disappearance of Amy Lynn Bradley, a Caribbean Cruise Mystery. Picture a sun-soaked Caribbean cruise in 1998, a family laughing under the warm tropical breeze, and a 23-year-old woman vanishing from a massive luxury ship in the blink of an eye, turning a dream vacation into a global mystery that's hooked millions for over 2 decades. This is the story of Amy Lynn Bradley, a bubbly college grad with a bright future who disappeared from the rhapsody of the seas, leaving behind a trail of bizarre sightings, whispered rumors, and a case so wild it's practically screaming for answers. How does a young woman evaporate from a floating fortress packed with 2,000 people? What's the deal with those chilling reports of her alive years later begging for help? And why does this unsolved disappearance still have us glued to the edge of our seats? Let's dive headfirst into this insane ride, tracing her final hours, unpacking the jaw-dropping twists, and chasing the theories that could blow your mind wide open. It all kicked off in March of 1998, when Amy, fresh off a basketball scholarship at Longwood University in Virginia, decided to join her family for a week-long escape. Her parents, Judy and Ron, and her younger brother Brad, had booked a cruise on Royal Caribbean's Rhapsody of the Seas, a gleaming 11-deck behemoth sailing out of San Juan, Puerto Rico. They were headed for Aruba and Curacao, dreaming of turquoise waters, steel drum music, and lazy days by the pool. Amy was the life of the party. Tall, athletic, with a contagious laugh, a dolphin tattoo on her lower back, and a sunburst inked on her belly. She'd just landed a job, her future sparkling like the ocean outside their 8th-deck cabin window. On March 21st, they boarded the ship, snapping photos and settling in for what should have been a perfect getaway. 2 days of family dinners, deck strolls, and postcard-worthy moments. Then came the night of March 23rd, when the whole trip flipped upside down. They'd docked in Aruba that day, soaking up the island vibes, and by evening, Amy and Brad hit the ship's nightclub, a pulsing hotspot of neon lights and calypso rhythms. She was in her element, dancing until 3 a.m, her green eyes catching the glow of the disco ball. A band member, Alistair Yellow Douglas, spun her around the floor, flirting hard. She laughed it off, vibing to the beat. Brad called it quits around 3, trudging back to the cabin, while Amy stayed behind, swaying to the music until 4. She wandered back alone, barefoot, and crashed on their private balcony in a deck chair, the warm night wrapping around her like a blanket. Ron peeked out at 5:30. She was sprawled there, legs up, dozing under a sky just starting to blush with dawn. He nodded off on the couch inside, figuring she'd sleep it off. When he woke at 6, the chair was empty. Her flip-flops sat beside it, the cabin door ajar, and Amy was gone. In 30 minutes, on a ship crawling with 2,000 passengers and crew, she'd vanished into thin air. Panic hit like a tidal wave. Ron shook Brad awake, shouting her name, while Judy bolted to the deck, her voice cracking as she called for Amy through the morning stillness. By 7, they'd alerted the crew, who locked the ship down tight in Curaçao's Arancastad port. Security swarmed every corner, 11 decks, hundreds of cabins, bars, pools, even the lifeboats, turning the place upside down. Nothing. Her wallet, ID, camera, and clothes stayed in the room, untouched, like she'd stepped out for a second. The ship's cameras had caught her at 4 on deck 10, chatting with Yellow near the club, her smile easy. But after that, blank. No splash, no screams, no blips on the overboard sensors. The Coast Guard swept the waters around Curaçao, divers plunging into the blue. Zip, nada, zero. By March 24th, the FBI stormed aboard, and this sunny cruise morphed into a full-blown international head-scratcher that'd leave jaws on the floor. Here's where it gets absolutely bonkers. Amy didn't just vanish, she left echoes that'll make your skin crawl. In August 1998, 5 months later, a Canadian tourist swore he saw her on a Curacao beach. Her dolphin and sunburst tattoos unmistakable. She looked frantic, mouthing, "Help me," with 2 sketchy guys flanking her, before they hustled her into a jeep and peeled out. He froze, kicking himself later for not acting. Then, in 1999, a Navy sailor walked into a Caribbean brothel and locked eyes with a woman who whispered, "I'm Amy Bradley, help me." Those same tattoos flashing, before a pimp yanked her away, slamming the door. By 2005, a photo popped up on an escort site. A woman, dead ringer for Amy, tattoos and all, staring blankly at the camera. Each sighting screamed trafficking, a nightmare too dark to shake, but every lead hit a brick wall. Witnesses clammed up, trails went ice cold. Her life before was pure gold. She'd graduated with honors, nabbed a job in insurance, and glowed with that post-college optimism. She loved dogs, doodled in notebooks, and had 0 red flags. No depression, no debts, no enemies. That night, she'd partied hard. Yellow admitted flirting, maybe pushing for more, but swore he'd split at 4, heading to his bunk. Her flip-flops by the chair hinted she'd stepped away barefoot. Why? The balcony's railing was chest high, 4 feet off the deck. No way she'd tumbled unless she climbed up. And Amy wasn't clumsy. Judy and Ron turned the world upside down. Flyers plastered ports. TV pleas aired coast to coast. But Royal Caribbean shrugged, citing no blood, no proof, just a big fat "we don't know." So, how'd she disappear? Theories went full tilt. An overboard slip was the easy out. Too many drinks, a dizzy stumble, splash. But no body, no witnesses, and that railing laughed it off. Kidnapping hit harder. Cruises in 1998 were security late, the Caribbean a trafficking hotspot back then. Yellow got grilled, his twitchy vibe, her last dance, but polygraphs cleared him, and his alibi held. The sightings painted a horror show, snatched from the ship, sold into a shadow world, her tattoos a cruel calling card. Some pointed at the crew, access to cabins, knowledge of blind spots, but searches found squat. A wilder take, pirates or a passenger with a plan flared up, but no ransom, no chatter. Her phone stayed dead, her cards untouched, her fate a black abyss. Over 25 years, Amy's story burns hotter than a million suns. Last seen March the 23rd, 1998, at 5:30 a.m. on that balcony, she stepped into oblivion, leaving a family wrecked and a world obsessed. The sightings, beach cries, brothel pleas, that haunting photo, keep this alive, a mystery too raw to bury. Was it a fluke fall, a slick abduction, or a cover-up too big to crack? Every lead twists your gut, every theory demands a click, and the truth might just be the wildest ride yet. Craving more jaw-dropping tales, vanishings, secrets, and cases that smash a million views. Join Mystery Pulse for the next insane drop. Subscribe now and smash that bell to catch every mind-blowing moment. Link in bio.